I think there's something there to tell you about Einstein that makes it really simple to understand why Einstein is an excellent explanation for the construction of space-time, because it's a block universe. Einstein's coefficient's fixed speed of light creates a hypercube tension structure architecture. Yeah, so it's a cube, and you join the corners together so that they cross at the center. Now that point at the center is the limit of entropy that I bring forward from Ross Anderson's work, S to the 4, and I'm saying its units are meters. Its limit of entropy is bending of centroid meter 4, proving that the Earth's the center of the universe. Right? So from this model, right? So I've brought in my model of the center of the universe. I'll explain Einstein. So Einstein's a block universe. Mass energy equivalence is required as a twisting motion at the center of the hypercube. So that can you see, if you assume that the cubic structure is made from a framework, and that framework is trying to expand and bend into arcs. Each straight line is trying to bend into an arc in its natural shape. It just wants to curl up into a sphere, but it's stretched into a straight line. And it's stretched into a straight line because you keep twisting the center, and that puts force on the diagonals, the cross diagonals, the X structure, the 6X structure, into the corners, and that keeps it twisted up. So now you've got a cube. Aha! So if you've got a cube, you can build an entire Minecraft world from blocks, a block universe. And then you can assess how things move and interact in this block universe, because it's a description of a mechanism for the ether. It's an analogy for the ether, equally as Maxwell's 1861 hexagonal gears and idler gear setup is an analogy. Because that's all you've got. And so it's a good analogy, but once you've got this block universe, you can learn so much about spherical motion, because you're standing from the perspective of the block, looking at the sphere. So go back to the hypercube, and now put that into a sphere. So each of the 8 corners are touching the surface of a sphere, puffed out. So now imagine from the center you've inflated that hypercube into a sphere. So now when you're looking at spin and all the quantum stuff and the standard model, you're seeing the sphere from the perspective of the block universe, the fixed speed of light, the cube, Einstein's relativistic world. Brilliantly, Levy opens the door just to the opposite perspective, that you now take the sphere with the hypercube architecture and place a cylinder inside at the viscous the Pisces viscous, forgotten, at the center. So you draw the 2 circles either side, and they cross at the center. So take your sphere, and then imagine 2 other spheres pushed into the center, and look back, and you can see at the point you've now got this center, what I said was S meter 4 central bending, and now you've got a taller architecture than the hypercube. It's a cylinder. And now when you take the cylinder structure at the top, you can see there at the surface, the tension between those 2 points is as AB5, Victor Levy, 1915. A diagram that's been lifted from another document and placed there in error or deliberately as a clue, so that you can work out what's going on with AB14. So Victor Levy, 1915, is proving this is the architecture that they have, the physics they have. And they've given us Einstein without the alternate perspective, so you can't make sense of the world. So now you've got the cylinder, and now it's concrete tanks, concrete water tanks. That's why the link is so obvious. And now you just do the iconic structure finally into the center. So now you've got the tall cylinder and the twin standing cones. The bottom standing cone is in fluid mechanics. The top standing cone is a cavitation. It's a vortex of force with a meniscus surface. That's the cone force. And what happens is that the speed of the top one is so fast that the bottom one can't keep up. The force in the fluid cannot keep up with the cavitation force at the top, and so it ticks at the center. There's a break, and in that rigid body instant, the vortex from the fluid flicks up into the cavitation, causing a pocket vortex. It's going the same way, but it's contra-rotating because it's moved from one plane, from an orthogonal plane, into a different dimension. And so now they're going the same way, but it has a right-hand chirality. So the pocket vortex goes anti-clockwise, but it has a right-hand chirality. Everything else has a left-hand anti-clockwise chirality. And so now the pocket vortex is the brake on the major vortex, slowing it, causing a brake, causing the surface in the first place. So there's a recursive system. A fluid existing in motion must equal this cavitation assembly at the center of the planet. And the center of the planet is the center of the magnetic universe, hooked vortices. It's an easy model, but proven by Victor Lever in 1915. So if we declassify nuclear physics, we will discover that the Earth's the center of the universe. We will then know that the 3i atlas is definitely coming here, and we'll be able to work out a plan of how the sun will shine on humanity again in a golden age which is about to dawn, of truth, knowledge, peace, justice. Yeah, the meek are inheriting the earth, and Christ is your king. You're about to learn that on your knees. Are you ready? Are you ready for the future? Physicists, let's talk. Follow the Rebel King.